Here's the big question.
How are agents like us,
who didn't get an opportunity to invest in a franchise early,
who are spending time and money to sell homes,
building someone else's saleable asset?
How do we grow a business but still build wealth?
Have an exit strategy,
and get a piece of the pie that's not dependent
on us working more hours and every weekend?
That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer.
My name is Jay Kinder.
My name is Al Stasek.
And I'm Michael Reese. We are your hosts, and welcome to the One Big Fire Podcast.
What's happening, everybody out there in YouTube land, Facebook land, everywhere watching today? We have a great announcement, and Cindi Featherston-Shields is with us here today, shaking up the real estate market in Tyler, Texas, along with cuz John Kitchens. How you doing today, everybody?
I'm doing wonderful. Excited for this announcement, this conversation. Like you said, things are definitely shaking up in Tyler.
Absolutely, and this has been a long time coming. You know, we've been friends and worked with you for such a long time, and having the opportunity to be in business and be partners with you is just something that we've always looked forward to and something that we're excited about. So I'm excited to kind of hear the story of how things have gone and how you came to the decision to move your entire team over to eXp and what's been the reasons why you made that decision and all the good stuff that comes with that. So tell us a little bit about, your team and kind of the development of your business and why you've made this decision to move over to eXp.
Well, first of all, I want to tell you how excited we are to finally be at eXp. You guys, we've been sitting on the back seats watching you guys for some time. We have been in a franchise for 25 years. We were with ERA for 25 years. As a matter of fact, when I bought the company from my mentor, she had been with ERA for years. So in Tyler, that's all what people knew us as, is with being an ERA franchise. And so we were at some meeting, Jay, and this is when you guys were first introduced also, I think, to EXP, or just right before you guys joined. And I looked at this and I thought, wow, what a cool setup here. What a great concept. And so I knew we wanted to do that, but that was almost 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And finally, our franchise agreement was over the last day of August, and we signed with eXp the first day of September. So
you didn't waste any time then.
No time. Absolutely not.
That's awesome. And so what was tell us a little bit about your team. First of all, you've had a tremendous business in Tyler, Texas, one of the top teams in really in all of Texas. So tell us a little bit about your business and kind of how that's grown and kind of where you're hoping to take it.
Yeah. Anytime you make big, significant changes like this, you wonder if you're going to have a little fallout or not. And when we announced that we were going to eXp, everybody in our team was on board. And so we lost nobody in the changeover. I will first say that if anybody has a team out there and you're wondering if you're going to have a fallout, and we have over 20 people on our team. I think we got about 26 actually on our team. And so to be able to move that large of a group of people and not have any fallout, I thought we were doing actually pretty good with that.
Yeah.
But again, we've been in business for 25 years here in Tyler. I started in my 20s selling real estate, bought the company from the lady I was selling real estate for, never been anywhere else. And we ended up growing our business to 5 offices with ERA, over 100 agents at one point. And I'm driving from office to office every day, training. And in the background, I'm fighting lawsuits off because when you have over 100 agents, they are nipping at you all the time with just stuff. And so, oh my gosh, I thought there has got to be a better way. We ended up selling our offices off. And in Tyler, we put in this just cool little boutique office. We never have offered any office space to our agents. So the concept of moving to eXp with no office space kind of worked for everybody already. Our office consists of basically our admin people. We have 2 transaction control people now, and we have 1 listing person. We have a full-blown marketing department. And cool. We do everything from put the sign in the yard for our agent. We take the pictures of the property. We load them into the MLSs. We write all their contracts. We carry them all to closing. And so we really cater to our people, and they kind of like that. And so anyway, that's a little bit about our team. We are picking up some new people since we have been with eXp. So we're kind of excited about that too.
Right.
Yeah. It's really
John.
cool. Cindi's organization has been really agent centric, right? Like she said, they really cater to the agents. And, this October will be 5 years that Cindi and I have been working together. And so the conversation's always like, how can we add more value, right? So Cindi's always coming from a place of contribution and adding value to her team or team members, and really just looking for all the ways to pour into them. And, as we know, because we were, independent for, so many years, and we were having the same conversations, right? And we're like, hey, how can we do this? And then we're looking at the P&L and we're like, oh, we can't do that. And so, this is just like a natural fit. You and I have talked about this, and Cindi and I have had this conversation, is that, those that have organizations, that have small boutiques, that like honestly at their core really care about their people, then they owe it to their team to look at this model. Right. And I think that's what really excited Cindi more than anything. It was like, holy smokes, I get to plug into this, and it's going to add much more value that I can't financially, the model as an independent or even with another franchise, provide. Like I get, like, it's just a win. And I think that's what really excited Cindi the most when she saw that, because always in her mind is like, how can I add more value? How can I add more value? And how many conversations have we had? Is like, just from a financial perspective.
Talked it. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And the thing about it is you think when you're with a franchise and you're paying all this money to this franchise that you've actually got a good plan, you've got good training, you've got all these things, this system in place. Since we have moved to eXp, we are blown away, totally blown away with the training. We have never seen anything like the training that eXp provides, and just the setup and the systems and the willingness to share, I think is pretty amazing. What we've experienced so far.
Well, look at there, Mr. Glenn Sanford, our founder, is here with us, and as he says, it's all about adding value. That's right. Agentcentric is the name of the game.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Absolutely. We're real excited about the revenue share portion of this. That's what was the thing that when we saw that, it made so much sense. And, if you do care about your agents, you will want to be able to have them be able to think about not only just selling real estate, because they sell real estate, but what their future is. I have so many of our top producers that come to us, they're making over $100,000 selling real estate. But the day they stop selling, they're done. Mm-hmm. They're only as good as their last 30 days. And now with this revenue share program, it's amazing. That's their retirement plan. That's their plan B, so to speak.
Right.
I tell people, I said, it's not about the money. I told them yesterday in our sales meeting, it's not about the money. It's about the freedom. Mm-hmm. It's about freedom is what this is about.
Right.
And that's what, we are building this. We're going to build it big here. And it's about freedom for us at this point.
Right. Now, how has it changed? So I hear this all the time, and I think a lot of people, especially if you have an independent or you have a franchise or a brokerage out there and you're watching this, like trying to figure out, okay, well, how is this going to look once we're over here? Well, how have your agents responded to having the conversations with other agents and recruiting them over to your team, and how has that changed their mindset, if at all? What's been your experience with that?
I think more than anything, I hate to use the term ignorance on fire because we're brand new to this, but we are excited, and that is attracting people to us, just the sheer excitement.
Right.
And then you see somebody that's been in the business as long as we have and have been with a franchise as long as we have. And when we make that switch, they go, whoa, what is going on here?
Right.
Why would this company go to eXp that has been established for so long here? And right. I think that people have really taken notice of that, and they're asking our agents, they're asking, hey, why did y'all do that? And of course, we did a lot of marketing leading up to it, the announcement, and we're continuing to do quite a bit of marketing on social media for it. And people are just excited right now.
Right.
Some of them are standing back watching, I can tell.
Yeah.
We're just trying
it happens in every market where, one of the large, independents or a large influencer such as yourself moves over. everyone that was hearing the buzz starts to kind of stand up and take notice. Okay, something's going on here. And it's really all we do is educate and inform. I think there's just a lot of misinformation about what eXp is and how the business model works and why it is the way it is. But once people start to do that research, a little bit of that research, and they start to understand the business model, it starts to become clear as maybe that is the biggest opportunity. And you said something earlier I just want to highlight, because the challenge as you had a franchise, 5 offices, and trying to do training in all 5 offices physically was almost impossible. And at eXp, there's 55 hours, I believe, right now, every single week of training that's ongoing. It's live and interactive. It's also recorded so you can watch it later. It's like you can't really compete with that if you're trying to do that and run and manage an office and deal with all the legal that you have with all the agents that you have. It just becomes very challenging as an independent or even as a franchise to be able to manage that and do it profitably, is what we've all experienced. And to have this platform of eXpRealty to be able to add a tremendous amount of value and create opportunity and stock and revenue share and additional training for your agents, it just becomes a no-brainer for the agent. And if it's better for the agent, then it's better for you, and that's why this thing's going to continue to grow, and we're going to take over Tyler by adding more value to all of the agents there that get the opportunity to come join you.
Absolutely. I go back to the training and the online training, the on-demand training at nighttime that you can log into, but the live training, I will say again, we've been with a very good franchise for over 25 years. I've never seen anything like the training. We do our office training on Tuesday mornings at 9:00, and I'm thinking, man, this is just, I don't know if I can't compete.
Right.
I can't compete.
Right.
And so our agents are loving this. I'm loving this. I'm even logging on. You can still teach this old dog some new tricks. And so I'm logging on and seeing what I'm learning from these top producers in eXp, because it is full of top producers here. And it's refreshing to be able to see and hear from their standpoint of somebody that's selling real estate, what they're doing, versus somebody standing up in front of a room that maybe doesn't sell real estate trying to teach it.
Right.
So we have really, really embraced the training portion of this.
No
I think
doubt.
a couple other key components in there that your agents will see a tremendous more value over time. And it's just because I'm having a lot of conversations with agents that have been on board with eXp for the last couple of years. And, it's the, being able to buy the stock, right? The stock purchase program. And, I had a conversation with the single agent yesterday that just cashed out a small portion of how much that they had gained out of their stock. One, to finally close on a home that they had been leasing in a lease to purchase option, but they were able to use the money from the stock option and, the growth in the stock to be able to finally buy and get into a home and have a little bit of money through some uncertainty as kind of going into the winter months. And, just to me, hearing that, I just like, man, that's awesome. Right. Because, as owners of teams and brokerages over the years, that's what we were always striving to do, is to do little things like that help impact and change their life. And, being able to plug into, an organization now that gives that, I'm excited to hear those stories with your agents as the months and years come. And then the other, and we talked about this, Cindi, when we were down there last, is like, the health option, right? The healthcare option. I know that was a big deal for me. Being able to save and get into a better program. And, I think those are little things as real estate agents that, we overlook, but it's a tremendous amount of value. And, I know where you're coming from and like Glenn said, just about adding value. Those are other couple key nuggets that I'm excited to hear stories from your team in the future.
Absolutely. Most of our people, I don't even know what it's called. You have to remind me, but where you can have a percentage of your commissions go towards stock. one of our agents stood up and she said, guys, this is a no-brainer. You've got to do this. You've got to let some of your commission goes toward this stock because, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you don't get that opportunity.
Right.
Matter of fact, guys, you know, we had a couple of people that were visiting our office, not agents, just some clients of ours that sat in on your talk the day that we made the announcement. The first thing the guy does is he goes back home, looks at the stock, and buys because he says, there's no way I'm not going to buy some stock here. You know, this is amazing.
Right.
We've had one of our agents also that her son-in-law is over a trust department at one of our large banks. And, you know, she wanted to check it out with him. And so she called him on the phone and says, this is what we're about to do. And this guy says, do it. You know, this is great what you guys are getting into. So that's just some opinions from the people from the outside when it comes to the stock portion of this.
Right. It's it's definitely disruptive. You know, and I think most people don't quite understand why it's so disruptive. I mean, it was brilliant. It was a brilliant idea to take the company public and create shares for the agents. That was just a really brilliant move that nobody else has thought to do ever. Right. So that part was great. But the fact that, you know, in 2009, I go back to like thinking about like 2009 was 2 years after we first got our very first iPhone, right? And so we were all BlackBerry. John was probably still BlackBerry, I think.
I was still BlackBerry then.
right. You BlackBerry as long as you could. You could type a lot faster on those things. But you know, to be thinking cloud-based when cloud-based wasn't really disruptive the way it is today, the way we know it is today, and in order for something to be disruptive, it just has to be better, right? Like. We're never going to go back to going to driving to Blockbuster to rent videos so that we can watch our content at home. That's crazy. No, Netflix is just better, right? Like we're going to stream data, we're going to stream content. We're never going back to that. And so the same thing with Amazon. It's the same thing with the eXp. When you think about brokerage services, the services the brokerage provides, the training, the tech, you know, the collaboration that you typically would get in a physical office, but that collaboration now in a cloud where everyone collaborates in the entire company together. All of these benefits, the support, the immediacy of being able to get an answer to a question when you need it, or search a group and see if someone else has already asked that question and it got answered. It's instantaneous. And the brokerage services being delivered in the cloud was a big idea that I think a lot of people have a hard time getting their head around that being better than the way they have been delivering that through a franchise, a region, a franchise, bricks and mortar, and that model that was really just more difficult to deliver the value to the agent. And so it's just really disruptive, and that's why we're growing. And I think a lot of people are just probably not quite understanding why that's so. It's just better. Bottom line, it's just better.
I will tell you, if somebody's watching this that maybe are just barely kind of thinking about doing this program, and you've had somebody try to explain to you about the cloud, there is no way you can explain the cloud.
I agree.
I mean, I thought, oh, this is kind of cute. You have a little avatar that walks around. That's pretty cool. But when you really get into it and you get into is it workspace?
Yeah, workplace. Yep.
Workplace. There you go. We've been in that quite a bit and joining those different groups that's in there. Man, I mean, you cannot explain that to people.
Right. You have to experience that.
You really do. And after being able to put yourself into it, put yourself into some of those groups. I mean, that stuff is 24 hours a day.
Right.
You know, if somebody's in a large office, 100, 200 people, 20 people is for that matter, those people, you can't get an answer faster than you can from being in one of those little groups. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing how I saw some questions being asked and I mean, people were just popping the answers back to these agents the other night. And it was just, it's really something interesting to see.
It is. Yeah. You're so right. It's so difficult to try to explain how much better it is. But like, until you have your first question about something and you have a deal and you're just like, okay, well, let me see here. Let me just pop in and ask this question. Boom, answer, done. Problem solved. I'm like, I didn't get in my car. I didn't have to drive to the office. I didn't even, in some cases, I don't even know who I would go to in a real estate office to get the answer to a question. But it's so instant that you can get answers to questions. Until you're doing deals, you don't really realize how easy it is to get answers to stuff. Or if you're trying to solve a problem or learn a new trick with some lead generation and you're in one of those groups, you're like, hey, how do I set up one of these this way? And then boom, somebody's sharing a video or whatever of how they did it. And that's just it's a cool thing to be collaborating with so many top people in the industry.
Yeah. And, you know, as a real estate broker, you know, we've been our own broker. We've had our own team. And As a broker, I can't answer enough calls. I mean, my phone rings constantly with the agents that we have, and now they have this resource to go online and just pop that question and get an answer immediately. Yeah. As a broker, I'm pretty relieved by that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, huge because
it's amazing, and you don't realize how much time you're using answering questions all the time for agents.
And it frees you up to where you can focus on the bigger projects to move your organization forward and provide more value, right?
Absolutely.
Things that you used to be kind of handcuffed and bogged down to, and it's allowing things to move a lot faster.
Absolutely. It is. And the commission structure, I can't say enough good about the commission structure here with eXp. When somebody joins on that 80-20 with a 16 cap, I mean, there's nobody in Tyler that can touch that.
Right.
It's really amazing.
Yeah, I always tell people the math almost always works out, and especially if you're coming from another company or another franchise. And they don't do, a lot of agents don't do the math. They don't go and do how much is that 6% actually costing me? And when you do the math with them and you go through all the fee structure and then the opportunity to earn that $16,000 back in stock in the company. I mean, how crazy is that? I mean, it's a no-brainer. And if blind, I think I like to tell people who we're looking for is people that are hungry, humble, and smart. And if that fits your criteria, if that's who you are, then there's no question. If you're growth mindset and you want to grow your business, there's no question being aligned with all of us at eXp is the right move.
Absolutely. I was looking this week, there's 35,000 agents now with eXp. We were shocked. Because when we first looked at this with you guys, I mean, back then, it was, I think, under 10,000 agents.
Yeah, it was under 5,000 agents.
Was it under 5,000?
Yeah, at this point, it was under 5,000 agents, like 4,500 3 years ago.
If I could ask you guys, what do you predict the growth is going to be over the next 12 months?
Oh, man. Yeah. So the thing that I'm seeing this company do right now, there's a lot of things I see that I'm really excited about. First of all, international growth is we've got some key people. We got some key people that we just put in place in commercial. And that's another direction. We have some key decisions we're making in luxury. There's just a lot of direction and key. And when I see key people coming on board and the opportunity is bigger in international right now, I think we're going to grow extremely fast in international just because of the people we have in charge of that have really the background of doing that for other companies. And so that's what I see is a lot of growth. I don't know what it's going to look like. I do feel like there's just been a lot of people coming out of franchise agreements, such as yourself. I've had several conversations. We had a Century 21. We've had a couple Remaxes, and ERA is you, and then several other people that are independent that are starting to really look closer at it. And it seems to me like there's just going to be this feels like we're about to tip. Like it's been fast growth. Like I can't imagine, if you can imagine a company that's growing that fast, what it must be like every day and the number of people you have to hire and all the different departments and who's reporting to who and getting things right and keeping it moving and still adding a ton of value to the agent and it not being any disruption to their business as they're trying to do business. And it's got to be hard to do that. But I feel like we're about to tip. We're just at this point where it just feels like everybody's coming. And I'm excited about it. I would think, in the next 2 years, I would be shocked if we don't break 100,000, by, at least within the next 2 years from right now. I would think that would be a very realistic number for us to hit just based on the growth I'm seeing.
One of the things that I think is so amazing, and this goes back to the leadership and seeing how fast they are getting better, right? And going back to just the onboard experience from even the beginning of this year until seeing the onboarding experience with Cindi and her organization. Like we were on the call with Sam, and I remember you and I was like, have you ever seen an email like that before? Have you ever seen that many people on the call before? And I was like, no, I haven't. And I know you had. I was like, holy smokes, they are up in the game daily. And that's what's cool, right? They're growing that fast, that people, start to have that, telling them that story. It's like, well, they're growing that fast. They're not going to be able to support us moving over. And it's like, that leadership, that organization is growing and getting better every day. And it's really cool to see.
Absolutely. The transition over has been very, very pleasant, a very pleasant experience. We've had a lady, Sue, that has really kind of stepped in. And I get emails from her on a regular basis, and all of our agents personally have a concierge. And it's been the neatest, smoothest transition that I could have ever expected to do. And I've heard from so many people helping, even people from your team, guys. I think Tracy is with you guys, and I mean, they just have been excellent helping us get acclimated to this.
Right.
So cool.
It's good. It's good. It's a good feeling when you know that it's not a bumpy road when you're going to be helping someone make this kind of transition, because it's a lot. There's a whole lot that comes with it, making those changes. And you guys made it look as smooth as possible on your end, and it's always good to hear on the back end how well things are moving as far as well-oiled machine now at this point.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. What would be something you would if somebody's thinking about eXp or they're watching this and they have questions, where should they reach out to you? Number one, where would be a good way for them to get a hold of you?
Oh, I think you should call or text me. Is it okay to give my phone number out here?
Yeah.
It's 903-520-7370. But yeah, I mean, I would love for somebody to reach out to me and let me tell you about the experience that we've had in doing the transition, and talk to them personally about why we chose eXp.
Yep. So get informed. That's the best thing you could do for yourself, is to understand the business model, get educated as to why so many people are joining this great company and what that might mean for you and your real estate business. So reach out to Cindi, reach out to John Kitchens or myself, and get in the know, so don't get left behind. Right?
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you very much. And it's a pleasure to be in business with you, Cindi.
We're so excited to be here.
All right. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Yep. Bye.